Does the Mox Opal unban and the printing of Leyline Axe in Foundation mean that Hammer Time is back in Modern? That's what we're going to find out today. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and today we are continuing our tour through some of the sweetest decks in Modern that got impacted by the recent ban list update, and today we are playing one of my all-time personal favorite decks in Hammer Time. And if you don't remember Hammer Time, the story of Hammer Time is kind of funny. It more or less came from a Budget Magic episode and went on to become one of the best decks in the Modern format, but then thanks to power creep and bannings, kind of faded away and hasn't been very good lately. But now, thanks to the ban list update, we get to play Mox Opal in the deck, which speeds the deck up a ton. Plus, we have another new addition, not because of the BNR, but from Foundations, that I'm really excited to try in the deck. So let's talk about our new and improved, fastest ever build of Hammer Time, what it's trying to do, jump into a Modern League, see the deck in action. So we start with the namesake card, Colossal Hammers. So Colossus Hammer, 1 mana to cast, gives the creature it equips +10/+10, but it costs 8 to equip. So the primary goal of our deck is to get Colossus Hammer on a creature without actually having to pay its equip cost, because it's way too high. So for this, we have Pure Steel Paladin. If we have at least 3 artifacts, we can just equip things for free. Sigarda's Aid lets us flash an equipment. When equipment enters, we can put it right on a creature. So these let us get our Colossus Hammer onto a creature without paying for its huge equip cost, which then lets us smash our opponent to death really quickly. If you look at the creatures in our deck, in some sense, we don't care what we're putting the hammer on, but like Inkmoth Nexus, it's a one-shot kill with Colossus Hammer. Ornithopter, Esper Sentinel, Kappa Cannoneer, Pure Steel Paladin, typically 2-shot kills without any extra help, although Ornithopter has flying, which is nice. I know Colossus Hammer makes the creature lose flying, but we can do some tricks where we like attack and then flash in the hammer after blocks with Sigarda's Aid to hit our opponent. Esper Sentinel, if it has a hammer on it, every time our opponent casts their first 9 creature spell, we're going to draw. And then Kappa Cannoneer can theoretically become unblockable, and it has ward, so a pretty good hammer threat. So those are the creatures to put the hammer on. Then we have a bunch of cards to give us consistency with finding hammers. Stoneforge Mystic tutors it out, Urza Saga can tutor it out, and make big constructs to wear the hammer. And since we're playing Stoneforge and Urza Saga, we got a bunch of other equipment they can tutor out. Paradise Mantle to make more mana, Lava Spur Boots for haste and a little protection, Shadow Sphere for life gain, Cauldron Complete just for Stoneforge to grab is a one-of, but sometimes we just turn 1 or 2 with Stoneforge and put a Cauldron Complete into play and it wins us the game. And then we have the 2 cards that are the reason we're playing Hammer Time today. So card number 1, Mox Opal. Mox Opal is just a huge deal for the deck because it speeds it up so much. Essentially, if we have Mox Opal, it turns our turn 1 into our turn 2 more or less, and it increases the chances of us being able to kill our opponent on turn 2 or turn 3 by quite a bit thanks to the extra mana it offers. We also got Leyline Axe, and Leyline Axe is a card that synergizes really well with Mox Opal since it's an artifact that starts on the battlefield if it's in our opening hand, but it's also just sneaky good in the deck, I think. I haven't played Hammer Time with Leyline Axe yet, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going. Like, we can start with it on the battlefield to turn on our Mox Opals, and eventually we free equip it with our Pure Steel Paladin. Giving Double Strike with the Colossus Hammer turns any of our creatures into a one-shot kill threat, and it gives Trample, which is one of the other downsides of Colossus Hammer. No evasion. It actually is anti-evasion because it takes away flying. But with a Leyline Axe, all of a sudden we have Trample, so even if our opponent has blockers, we can just smash through with our hammer creature and kill our opponent really quickly. So these cards are almost kind of a package. Leyline Axe makes sure Mox Opal has enough artifacts to make mana. Mox Opal makes sure we have enough mana to equip the Leyline Axe. So really excited to see just how good these cards are in the deck. As far as the mana base, we talked about the most important ones. Inkmoth, Urza Saga, really good. Otherwise, just mana fixing stuff. In the sideboard, we get a bunch of ways to protect our creatures. Flare Fortitude from stuff like Meltdown and other sweepers. Orm's Chant to deal with our opponent having counterspelled. Surge of Salvation shuts down discard and some removal. Sanctify Ironvet, Grafdigger's Cage, Soul Guideliner to deal with graveyards. March of Otherworldly Light for some removal. Pithing Needle is kind of a catch-all. And that is the new and improved Mox Opal Leyline Axe Hammer Time deck. And that's our deck for today. So let's jump into a Modern League and see just how big of a deal Mox Opal and Leyline Axe actually are for Hammer Time in Modern. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy the gameplay, and I'll be back in a bit for the wrap-up. Want to help out the channel? Well, you can snag these super sweet new dice, playmats tokens, and more over at MTGGoldfishmerch.com. Need some magic cards? Well, you can snag them from our sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTGGoldfish. Is this a zero? This might be a no land keep, as wild as that sounds. Because we can turn, so we get the Leyline Axe for free, Mox Opal Ornithopter, so Mox makes mana, and then we can get down either Esper Sentinel or Sigarda's Aid? Are we keeping it? Is this the 0 land 1 keep? Wait, no, that can't. You know what? We're gonna try. Maybe we regret this, but the fact that this is actually a realistic 0 lander. I mean, I guess that shows the power of Mox. So we got to try it for science, right? To see. I mean, it could go. We're also on the draw, which makes it a little better. We could just draw land and then it's super easy. The only problem with this hand is we don't really have a hammer. I guess hopefully we. Oh boy, Leyline of the Guild Pact. Well, opponent, we will match your Leyline. With a Leyline of our own. Can you beat a Leyline Axe? I mean, we'd still like to draw land, just so it's clear. Ideally, we would draw land, especially now that we see the matchup. They're probably not going to have that many spells that trigger. Oh, I gotta fix the settings. I got a new computer, which I'm very excited about. But there we go. There we go. But it resets all the hotkeys, which is super annoying. Pure Steel Paladin. Well, we'll play an Ornithopter. We'll play a Mox Opal. We'll play an Esper Sentinel. That's all we can do past the turn. All right. No lands, no problems. Unless they Leyline Binding this Mox Opal, then it's kind of a big problem. Surveils away an island. My opponent's finding their lands. Breeding Pool untapped. Passing. Hey, that's a land. That is an honest to goodness land. Not only a land, but a meaningful land. So we can play the Urza Saga. We can't quite get down this Kappa Cannoneer. What are they, blowing up the Urza Saga before it can make mana? Is that the game plan? Oh, this is fine. They're going to ice the Urza Saga, but we get to draw a card. It's another Pure Steel. So we're going to tap down our Urza Saga, sure. Oh, is this like a Domain Rhinos deck? They might be a Domain Rhinos deck. Well, we will just run out a second Esper Sentinel. We're gonna go max punishment for our opponent drawing cards. If our opponent's going to cascade into Rhinos, at least we get to draw 2 cards, which should hit us our land drops and let us do something good next turn. Pure Steel is going to be good once we can cast it. We have enough artifacts. Opponent Steam Vents, untap, 14, and Shardless, Cascades. Yeah, there's a Crashing Footfall. Thankfully, this is a non-creature spell being cast that our opponent cannot pay for, so a little bit worse when we get to draw 2 cards. Land, Ornithopter, land. Okay, that's a land, that's good. So opponent gets their Crashing Footfalls, gets their Shardless Agent. So opponent passes. We take up our Urza Saga. All right, so take up the Urza Saga. We can make a pretty big construct. We can also make a big Kappa Cannoneer. The construct's just bigger, though. Yeah, I mean, I guess we play Windswept Teeth, play Ornithopter. Yeah, let's crack the Windswept Teeth, grab a Plains. I think we're in construct mode for now. And hopefully our constructs are just bigger than these Rhinos. That's the idea anyway. We'll see if it works. Opponent, Arid Mesa. What did they reveal? Do we have to worry about Leyline Binding? We didn't see a Leyline Binding. Opponent. Shardless Agent. Okay, gonna make more Rhinos. Well, we get to see more of their... Oh, okay, they definitely have a bunch of Leyline Bindings in their deck, so they could have one. Are we paying for the Esper Sentinels? Yes, for one of them. Oh, that's a hammer, though. Wait, does this mean the game ends? Do we win now? So opponent makes more Rhinos. Passing. Well, we would like to 1 and 2 make a little construct here. Just a casual little 7/7. Well, this maybe it's a tough matchup for Rhinos. Our opponent did exactly what their deck wants to do. Like, Rhinos on 3, Rhinos on 4, but we played an Urza Saga, and our 0 land keep paid off. Orm's Chant actually is hilarious. We might bring that in. We can wait until they cast the Cascade spell, and then we can just cast the Orm's Chant, and they can't get the Rhinos. That's kind of funny. March of Otherworldly Light answers Rhino. Surge of Salvation, no. We might not actually bring in much. What do we cut is the second question. I guess we can cut a Kappa Cannoneer maybe, and I'm really intrigued by Leyline Axe. I feel like Leyline Axe should be so busted in this deck. Maybe, yeah, let's go to Paradise Mantle. Let's run like that. I think we try this. We might be able to get a Ink Moth kill, perhaps. Perhaps. Well, we're going to lead on Windswept Heath this time, I think. Windswept Heath, Crackit, Plains, and Sagardazade. Yeah, gonna tap down our land, I assume. Getting iced. Yeah, gonna ice the land. That is a lot of Colossus Hammers. Well, let's just play the Ink Moth and pass. If our opponent just makes Rhinos here, then we just kill them with the Ink Moth, which might mean our opponent can't make Rhinos here. Opponent, why are they gonna go for it? If they go for it, they die, right? Like, look at the Solitude? They shouldn't have Solitude. Opponent, Steam Vents untapped. Wow, they're gonna go for it. Shardless Agent. Well, we'll see. They need... Oh, Pact of Negation. Pact of Negation could do it if they have a Pact of Negation. That does give them a shot. I mean, we gotta go for it, though. We gotta go for it. Opponent passes. We draw an Esper Sentinel. I mean, we gotta just try to win the game here. So we're gonna play the Urza Saga. We're going to fire up... They could have Force. They need the Force. Go to combat. Opponent cannot block it. Colossus Hammer? No Force. Put it on the Ink Moth. Wow, that was a massacre. I forgot how much fun I had playing Hammer Time. Yeah, well, 0 land keeping game 1, thanks to the power of Mox Opal, which seems like a big deal for Hammer Time, into turn 3 Ink Mafia. Yeah, I think Rhinos might just be a pretty good matchup for our deck, but yeah, let's just keep doing that. We don't have a hammer, so this might be the whole Leyline Axe on Ornithopter game plan. A classic modern strategy. Play a Leyline Axe, put it on Ornithopter, go to town. Although, honestly, we can get down this Cannoneer relatively quickly, which is nice. Well, let's start with the Leyline Axe. See what our dear opponent's up to. Verdant Cat. Are we junding? Are you junding us out? Opponent, Verdant Catacombs passes. Lava Spur Boots. So, well, let's play the Mox Opal. Windswept Heath, and crack the Windswept Heath. Play Shadow Sphere. Do we play the Ornithopter? That's the other question. Let's say they kill the Ornithopter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So even if they kill the Ornithopter, we can play the Cannoneer. That's, well, Although Ornithopter after the Cannoneer puts a counter on the Cannoneer, which might actually be better. Correct. Oh, are they going to blow up the Mox? Blowing up the Mox definitely slows us down here, but we can't really do anything about that. Breeding Pool. Untap down to... Oh, are they countering? Well, we cannot pay for that. But we can play an Ornithopter. And play a Lava Spur Boots. And pass the turn. This means hopefully we can still get down the Cop Cannoneer. Yeah, Stubborn Denial. So is our opponent Domain? Are they Frog? We draw a Flooded Strand. Well, Hollow Fountain untapped. And I mean, we gotta try to get down this Cannoneer, I think. No counter, please? Oh, come on. What are you? I don't know. Are you playing Counterspell and Stubborn Denial? Okay, opponent's going to get a Savitrio. Well, we get a Cannoneer, which has a Ward of 4, which is a pretty big number. And that can wear this Leyline Axe and also maybe these Lava Spur Boots. Territorial Convoy. Okay, Leyline Axe is going to be our hero here, opponent. We draw Sagardazade. Well, play the Flooded Strand, crack the Flooded Strand. We're just going to load up this Cannoneer and go to town. 1, 2, and 3. Let's Leyline Axe the Cannoneer. Stick Das Boots on Das Cannoneer. Smack ya? 7/6, double strike, trample, ward 5, also haste for some reason. Opponent, going to 2. All right, opponent cracks down to 1. The ward is so huge here, right? Like, it just means our opponent cannot really realistically kill this. For at least several more turns. Ward 5 is... It's essentially hexproof. Like, they need 6 mana to Leyline Binding, and they can't even crack their fetches anymore. They could try to play, like, another Kavu and block, and then we might have to try to finish things off with the Ornithopter. I guess we can put the boots on the Ornithopter. Wow, opponent's just giving up on life? Okay. I'm gonna do a little looting, and, well... For not having a hammer, this Cannoneer and the axe, Leyline Axe might actually be. I was hyped about trying Hammer Time again because of Mox Opal, but now that we're playing the deck, it might actually be that Leyline Axe is the real hero here, and maybe it wouldn't be the hero if it wasn't for the fact that we had Mox Opal, because it's also a free artifact, so it supports the Mox Opal plan. So maybe we wouldn't be as high on Leyline Axe if it wasn't for Mox Opal. But wow, Leyline Axe was good that game. It was really good that game. So opponent's playing a domain deck. Flare of Fortitude's kind of cute as a way to deal with meltdown effects. Sanctifier and Vec, they might be Reanimator. Some of these decks are reanimating now too. We didn't see much of their build. The thing is, okay, so traditional Domain Zoo, I feel like the Sanctifier is probably pretty good. Protection from Ragavan, Kavu, Flage, Bowmasters. Graveyard Hate's sort of relevant against Flage. If they're doing the Reanimator rebuild, though, then it gets a lot worse. We still might try it. We could also bring in Marches. I don't know how much we want to diminish our primary plan. We can go down the Spell Pierces. I think those are easy cuts. We can probably trim Paradise Mantle. They're not super spell heavy. Maybe we go down like an Esper Sentinel, a Kappa Cannoneer. I really don't want to cut Leyline Axe because it's been so good for us. Yeah, all right, we're gonna go one. We're going one Leyline Axe. We're not like that. Can you stop our Mighty Hammer? That is the important question. Ooh, this hand, but with white mana would be nice. The all colorless land hand. I don't know if we can keep this. So we have Leyline Axe, Ornithopter, but then we just do yeah. We gotta ship that one. This we can keep because of Mox Opal, I think. Are we putting the second Mox to the bottom? Probably. So turn one, Mox, Ornithopter, we're gonna play the Colossus Hammer, Colossal Hammer, Esper Sentinel. I mean, I guess that's what we got. We're on the draw too, so we could draw another cheap artifact, which would be nice. We'd rather have the hammer in hand, given the choice, since we can't equip it, but we might need. This is what happens when you don't have a Leyline Axe. When you don't have a Leyline Axe, you gotta make some tough decisions to turn on the Mox. Underground Mortuary. No raccoons here, sadly. I still want those Surveil Land Raccoon Secret Lair Drop. Wizards, if you're watching this, I will give you my monies if you make a Surveil Lands with raccoons on them Secret Lair Drop. I'm just saying. Land? Ooh, another Pure Steel. So, well, it's actually very good. Okay, so that makes it better if we have to play this hammer. So we will play an Ornithopter. We will play a Mox Opal. We will play an Inkmoth Nexus. We will play a Colossal Hammer. And then play an Esper Sentinel. And hope we draw another land so we can play our double weight 2-drops. These colorless lands, kind of annoying. Opponent, Verdant Catacombs. If you'd like to let us draw off this Esper Sentinel, that would be acceptable, opponent. If you Bowmasters it, though, I'm going to be displeased. Displeased, Mario Gnomes. Well, I mean, so we get to draw a card, but then we also get to lose the game. Meltdown. So with all this power, and there is a lot of power in this deck, with all this power, there is also one really big weakness, which is Meltdown. So maybe we got to be bringing in Flare of Fortitudes. Now that we know that Meltdown's a thing, opponent gonna Faithless Looting. I mean, so worst case, we're gonna get some more information out of our opponent's deck. You might be wondering, why not crack the fetch hit in with Inkmoth Nexus? Okay, so our opponent's definitely the if they reanimate Archon, we're scooping. Breeding Pool and Persist. Yeah. GG. So the theory there with not attacking with Inkmoth is we could get our Surveil Land to try to find another white source. We need to change our sideboard plan a tiny bit though. So we need to bring in 2 Flare of Fortitudes, and we'll go down a March of Otherworldly Light and a March of Otherworldly Light. Since our opponent's actually a graveyard deck, that changes our plan quite a bit. Like, so our opponent's playing a new build of Domain Zoo, which is, I imagine, something like this. So if you look at Domain Zoo, traditionally the decks look something like this, like roughly Ragavan, the Coddles, Bowmasters, Kavus, yeah, some burn spells, ley lines. This new build, though, very different. Emperor of Bones, Psychic Frog, Kavu still sneaks in, Archon of Cruelty, and then reanimation stuff over the burn spells and the Stubborn Denial that we saw. So I'm pretty sure our opponent's playing this deck or something very similar. So because of that, I feel like, so March, it's still tough. We still need to be able to kill the frog, right? But we also need Graveyard Hate. And we also probably want Flare of Fortitude. What can we cut to make this happen, though? Are we going out? Maybe we go down the Cauldron Complete. Cauldron Complete doesn't seem that great. It still gets got by Archon. And then maybe we go like 2 Marches. Go down 1 more Kappa Cannoneer. Do we also want the Soul Guide Lantern? We have the Grafdigger's Cage, right? Yeah, we probably need it. Yeah, these Persist decks are scary. Sanctifier's also pretty good Graveyard Hate if we can get it down. You know what? All right, we're not going to bring in Soul Guide. We'll just go Grafdigger's Cage and trust the Sanctifiers. All right, we're on the play for game number 3. Well, this works. Turn 1 Sanctifier in back, or Stoneforge, which, hilariously, this is where Cauldron Complete would be at its finest. This is the exact time when Cauldron Complete would be so good, but we sideboarded it out. But this is literally the perfect Cauldron Complete hand. We just stack up them Leyline Axes. I feel like this Sanctifier should be very good. And I like that it's not super artifact dependent. So even if our opponent has a meltdown, the Sanctifier should still be decent. The risk is our opponent having their nut draw. If they have the Leyline of the Guildpact Sign of Draco draw, that's a concern. Well, we're going to start with a Leyline Axe. All right, no Leyline for our opponent. So we will play a Mox Opal, play an Ornithopter, play a Plains, and yeah, we're going to get down the Sanctifier. Shut down the graveyard, and I think we hold on to the other Ornithopter for now. Pass the turn. Can you beat a Sanctifier in back? If we draw a land, we are definitely equipping this Leyline Axe to the Sanctifier. That would actually be our best draw, is just a source of mana to equip the Leyline Axe. This is almost like a backup Hammer Time plan, right? Because Mox is so explosive, we can start with Leyline Axe in play on turn 0, and then turn 2 we have enough mana with Mox, assuming we get our land drops, which is not a guarantee, but if we have a Mox, we can just equip and start beating down for 6 with Leyline Axe on a Sanctifier or something. Opponent, Polluted Delta, passing. We draw land. That's a land. All right, Flooded Strand, and crack the Flooded Strand. And we're going to grab the Hallowed Fountain, untapped, and 1, and 2, and 3. Leyline Axe up the Sanctifier. Get a Savi Triume. I mean, our opponent still does have Leyline Binding in their deck, so that is a potential answer to the Sanctifier. Leyline Axe a little hard to Meltdown. Meltdown is the main reason to hold on to the Ornithopter as well. It's not really doing, a second one's not really doing anything here, and we might need it to turn on like a future Mox Opal if they Meltdown. Oh, I kind of regret taking out that Cauldron Complete now. Kind of actually really a little. It still felt like the right choice at the time, but this hand is just so perfect for it. Breeding Pool tapped. Well, here comes the Leyline Binding. Yeah, that's pretty bad for us. So now we might be dying. So opponent gets rid of the Sanctifier. We draw a Pure Steel. Well, that's not the worst. So we can play a Pure Steel Paladin. Free equip to the Ornithopter. Get in. Hit you for 2. Move over to the Pure Steel. And now we're going to play another Ornithopter and pass the turn. Oh boy, that Leyline Binding was really good. If we survive this turn, we can Stoneforge up the hammer and we're kind of in business. Or our opponent might just be dead if the Pure Steel lives. Opponent, Verdant Catacombs, cracks it. So we're kind of just hoping our opponent taps out for something. Has a Fatal Push, interesting. Typically like a 2 of in their deck. Well, now this hand gets a lot worse. Sign of Draco. Well, opponent passes. Play the Stoneforge. Yeah, let's grab the Shadow Sphere. Play the Shadow Sphere. Oh, we need a way. Oh, we need a way to put this hammer on something. That's not the right song, but still. Opponent, what do you got? Underground Mortuary. All right, no Surveilling of Archons, please. Mills a Scion of Draco. And Emperor of Bones. All right. Can potentially cheat some things in from the graveyard. Gonna exile our Pure Steel Paladin. Passing. All right. Way to equip the hammer. Sigarda's Aid. Does that win us the game? Opponent's at 9. They gain 2. They could have another Leyline Binding. If they have another Leyline Binding, we get super blown out. But we probably just got to go for it, right? Well, play the Sigarda's Aid. Oh, opponent gonna block one of them. Well, the moment of truth has come. 1 and 2, Stoneforge, and Colossus Hammer, and Ornithopter, and you have an answer. Hold. Yes! Okay. No second Leyline Binding, and little scary, but in the end, Ornithopter power. Hammer time. Or actually, maybe it's Axe time now. Oh, is this a 0-land keep? Oh, yes, this is, wow, I guess it's a 0 colorless land keep. Not technically 0 lands. This hand's actually great though, right? Leyline Axe is unbelievably good, to the point where we might actually really have to start calling this a Leyline Axe deck. Check out this hand. So, Leyline Axe, and then we will play a Paradise Mantle. We will play a Mox Opal, and then we'll play an Ink Moth Nexus, and then we're gonna run out a little Stoneforge Mystic here, and I think this is a Cauldron Complete situation. We'll grab a Cauldron Complete, pass the turn. Can you kill the Stoneforge? Arid Mesa, Sacred Foundry, untapped. Galvanic, oh, it's the energy deck, okay. Dirty energy players. Opponent passes, let's see what we draw. Another Mox. Well, 1 and 2, let's play a Stoneforge. Colossus Hammer, play a second Mox, and Sigardazade. And this puts our opponent in a tough spot. Now they have to kill the Stoneforge, but they're dead if we draw a land to the Ink Moth. So I guess if they can, they have to kill the Stoneforge and hope that we don't draw a land. I think that's got to be their line. Static Prison. Gonna hit the Stoneforge. And Guide us. So, all right, land. All we need is a land. Ornithopter. Ornithopter is not a land. We'll play the Ornithopter. Get in for one with the Ink Moth Nexus, I guess. Actually, you know what? This is silly. This is silly. No. Okay, better plan. We're not attacking with Ink Moth Nexus. We are going to equip the Paradise Mantle to the Ornithopter. This is actually, yeah, we wasted a mana, whatever. This means we can actually do the Ink Moth kill next turn. Hopefully our opponent's running out of removals. They've already spent 2 removal spells. Man, what a fast start we had too. Opponent just had double removal. Static Prison ticking down. Probably not gonna ever go away because of the Guide of Souls, but well, we need to make our opponent die because sooner or later they're gonna build a big board of annoying energy threats. Wouldn't mind seeing a dead opponent over there, especially against energy. This is the deck I want to beat the most just because I hate that this deck exists. So whenever I play against energy, I want to beat it. I want to beat it. Opponent. Flaging the Ornithopter. All right, removal spell number 3. Well, this is the same equation. If we draw a land, our opponent's dead. If we don't draw a land, the game continues and our opponent has more chances to draw more removal. How about just a land? Another Mox. Another Mox works as well. Getting in with the Guide. I wonder if was it too greedy to play the double Mox? We could have held on, but then we could have not played Sigardazade. I think it was the right choice. All right, let's just draw a land and end this. Let's just draw a land or a Mox. Land or Mox. Spell Pierce. That is very likely our worst possible draw here. We will pass the turn. Yeah, I would be surprised if that did much of anything. Opponent taking down the Static Prison. The problem with not finding the kill faster is just that we're giving our opponent draw steps to find another removal spell. And there's in a Johnny. Okay, 1 card in hand. Land, please. If we draw a land, we're going for it. Like, if they got it, they got it. But here comes the big energy board that we knew was coming. Opponent gaining a bunch of life. Thankfully, Ink Moth does not care about that. I imagine send it to the air. The bigger issue is they're going to be able to leave back a flying blocker in the future, which is going to shut down the Ink Moth kill. So we need to land this turn. This is the turn, Magic Gods. This is the turn. We've been good this year. We've been good. I know it's been like 3 days, but still. Opponent makes a million cats, gains a million life. Okay, the game comes down to this draw. Can we draw land number 2 or a Mox? Come on, deck. Flooded Strand, all right. I mean, we got to go for it. They could have another Galvanic Discharge. It's possible, but we don't have another choice but to try. Fire up the Ink Moth, go to combat, do a little attacking. Let's see if they got it. Opponent, would you like to block our flyer? No. Okay. Colossus Hammer? No. It's double Galvanic. No. Oh, was it a fake? Were they faking? Was it a bluff? Did you bluff us, opponent, with the untapped land? Okay, opponent. Why you do that to us, opponent? That 1 card in hand could have been Galvanic Discharge. You could have just died with dignity. About it. What do we want against energy? That's the big question. So we can bring in removal. So when I'm sideboarding, one of the things I like to do, go over to mtggoldfish.com and pull up a deck list just to see. We don't know our opponent's deck list, obviously, but get a Reckless Pyro Surfer. Interesting. But get an idea, right, of what is typically in a deck like this and what we need to be scared of. Wrath of Skies, that's potentially a blowout for us, which could mean, okay, so cards we're interested in, I think, are Flare of Fortitudes, Marches, and I could maybe see an argument for Sanctifier. Sanctifier would mostly be to shut down Flage. We probably need Flare because of Wrath of Skies. The March lets us actually kill something, so let's go down, I think, the Spell Pierces. Go down the Spell Pierces, go down the Paradise Mantle that almost was a hero last game. Wow, what are Mox Opal leads to ridiculous starts. The starts that you can get with a Mox Opal are kind of... nutty. Now let's go 1 Esper Sentinel and Leyline Axe. And we're not going to bring in Sanctifiers at this point. We're gonna leave them. We're going to keep the Cauldron Complete, which actually ended up stranded in our hand that last game, but still, it was almost very good. So turn 0 Leyline Axe. Turn 1, Ornithopter Boots. Turn 2, we can Stoneforge. And we have a Pierced. Yeah, I guess we keep this. Stoneforge to get Hammer and then Pure Steel to throw it all on something with the Leyline Axe seems kind of good. Opponent, Sacred Foundry untapped. And a Dirty Monkey, Ragavan. Well, opponent passes. We draw an Esper Sentinel. Well, play the Plains. Play the Esper Sentinel. Sentinel's not a bad draw. It might just trade with a Ragavan, but trading with a Ragavan's actually not bad. We need another white source. The mana base in this deck's interesting, because all the Ink Moss and the Urza Saga, I guess Mox helps there as well, right? Just giving us another white source in the deck. But we've seen a couple times, like double white on turn 2, definitely not a guarantee with this deck. But the colorless lands are so strong that they're worth it. Like, yes, sometimes we want to play Pure Steel and we can't, but the upside's so high. All right, what 2-drop do we have? Wow, opponent's just gonna melt down. All right, well, there's our white source. Well, that is obnoxious. That is obnoxious. An opponent gets to get in with a monkey and hit us, get a treasure, and steal a Leyline Axe. Okay, well, at least they can't cast it. Oh, meltdown, what a blowout. Cauldron Complete. Well, Ink Moth Nexus and 1/2 Stoneforge Mystic. And I think we just grab a hammer. We already have the Cauldron Complete in hand. Oh, do we have to? Oh, they're just going to kill it. All right, I'm sure. Cannot do anything about that. This is actually kind of awkward now. Huh. Now that Ragavan gets in a nut. Man, stupid monkey. Stupid monkey. Opponent, Ocelot Pride. Bloodstained Mire. And gonna get in with the stupid monkey. Thankfully, our deck doesn't have much to steal. That should be super helpful for our opponent, but still. Steals a Flooded Strand. A free artifact would actually be nice. We draw Plains. Well, let's play the Plains. I mean, we have to Pure Steel, right? Even though we can't activate, like, what else are we doing? Yeah, let's play Pure Steel. I think we do hold on to the hammer, though. So we'll play the Lava Spur Boots to see if we can trigger the Pure Steel. So play the Pure Steel. Play Lava Spur Boots. Is this another removal spell? Thraben Charm, okay. Well, opponent's down to 1 card in hand. I would love to just draw a Sigarda's Aid and murder our opponent brutally with this Ink Moth Nexus. That would be sweet. That's what we're hoping for. Opponent, combat. If this Ragavan steals a Sigarda's Aid, I swear to God, stupid monkey, opponent gets it, hits us. What does the stupid monkey say this time? Down to 13 and gets a treasure and steals a Esper Sentinel, which is playable card. Opponent gonna play the Esper Sentinel and Surveil land. Well, we're again running out of time. We still have 1-shot kill potential, but we need it. Oh, and they mill a Flage. That is incredibly brutal. And double cats and another treasure in our opponent. Doing energy things popping off. We draw an Ornithopter that is not doing much of anything. Well, we will play a Windswept Heath. We will play an Ornithopter. Equip a Leyline Axe to the Ornithopter. How do you like us now? And pass the turn. So I think what this does... okay, so I think what this does is... opponent's probably going to Flage kill the Ornithopter. Basically, we need to crack this. You're probably thinking, why not Lava Spur Boots? A Surveil is more important here. The way we can win this game is find another Flage Mill. The way we can theoretically win this game is find another... or find a... does Pure Steel work? Find a Pure Steel or a Sigarda's Aid. Those are the 2 cards, and we have exactly 1 turn. And this is, again, assuming our opponent does not have another removal spell, which you never know. Opponent, combat. Gonna get in. Hit us for a ton. Yeah, this Ragavan is just popping off. Opponent. What are we stealing this time? Colossus Hammer. Okay. Well, that's fine. Opponent can't really make use of it. We don't really need it. We know what we need. Opponent, gonna play the hammer, because I guess why not? And all right, well, it's Surveillant time. Windswept Heath. Get our 1 Surveil land. Pure Steel Paladin, Sigarda's Aid, only 2 cards that matter. Stoneforge does not do it. Going to the graveyard. Those are the only 2 cards. Opponent makes tokens. Do we draw one? Hammer. All right. Well, yeah, energy's still really, really good. It's still really, really good. Meltdown. Let's go up two Sanctifiers. Go down 1 Kappa Cannoneer, another Esper Sentinel. Run it like that. All right, on to game 3, we're on the play. Can we take down the only deck that we really want to be? Our new nemesis in Modern. Well, we're going to keep this Plains and get down Sigarda's Aid. Pass the turn. This Flare of Fortitude could be relevant. We do need another white source. And we gotta expect that our opponent's gonna have a bunch of removal, because they always have a bunch of removal. So we need another white source for the Pure Steel. But if we can keep a non-token white creature around for this Flare, that is a way we can fizzle a Meltdown or a Wrath of the Skies. Marsh Flats, and passing. Kappa Cannoneer. Well, that's a little bit of ways for being good. So play the Urza Saga. Yeah, it's a Plains. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh, wow. Jeez, that's a blowout. Well, that might be the game. Before we can even make mana with the Urza Saga, opponent. Another sideboard hate card that we have not seen yet with the Wear Tear. Yeah, not looking great. Guide of Souls, my favorite card. And, well, 2 of them. Okay, well, I believe this game perhaps is over. Usually when there's 2 Guide of Souls, that means that the game's over. Opponent passing. Do we draw land? No. Ah, boy. I don't want to lose to this stupid deck. All right, well, kill one of the Guide of Souls, pitching our March that apparently isn't going to be useful after all. Gets a Mountain. Plays a Magus of the Moon. Well, we don't have any lands anyway, but we probably will draw an Urza Saga this turn. I got a feeling. Oh, Magic. Why do the Magic Gods love the energy deck? I feel like the Magic Gods, if they if they were real, would be punishing the energy deck. But instead, they are helping the energy deck. Well, we're going to play a Stoneforge. Not that it's going to do a whole lot here. We will grab a Cauldron Complete. Yeah, this Magus of the Moon's actually incredibly good against us at the moment. I mean, really, the problem is missing land drops in our opponent. And a Goblin Bombardment. Sure. And an Elegant Poller. Opponent gonna go to combat. Gonna do some attacking. Are they going to sacrifice their board to kill the Stoneforge? Gonna get in with the Magus of the Moon. Going to spend their energy to send it to the air. Yep, down to 15. March of Otherworldly Light. What do we do with a March? I mean, we have to just Cauldron Complete, right? That's the only thing that really makes sense. All right, Stoneforge Mystic. Put the Cauldron Complete into play. No. We would prefer a 5/5 Indestructible Trampler Haster. I mean, yeah, we're gonna get in and hit you. We gotta get in and hit you. Opponent down to 15. The real question is gonna be, can they make a bunch of creatures? If they make a bunch of creatures to trigger the Guide of Souls, to give more things flying, it's really slipping away. If they don't have creatures to trigger the Guide of Souls, we might have a chance because of Shadow Sphere. Like, in theory, we can Shadow Sphere on the germ, gain back some life, and then we can March pitching the Pure Steel, which hurts, but to get rid of something. Wow, nothing? Okay, opponent gonna get in. Hit us. No energy to spend. Sure. So we drop to 10. We draw. Leyline. Wait. Leyline Axe. Wow, that almost could win us the game. See what our opponent does. Opponent's gonna block. Sure. Well, we will just Shadow Sphere. The life gain here is really, really big. Put it on the germ. Well, let's see if they have a hate card. So opponent's gonna sack to the Goblin Bombardment. Sure. Yes. Equip it up. Hit you first. Wait, are we gonna win this? Are we gonna end up winning this? There's actually hope that we win this. We're at 15, and in theory, we can Stoneforge in the Leyline Axe. Opponent needs a draw. A Johnny Nakatil Pariah. So I think we March of Otherworldly Light. The Goblin Bombardment? I think it's gotta be the Goblin Bombardment. So if we get rid of the Goblin Bombardment, they have the Ajani, but they can't flip the Ajani. They gain 2 life. Yeah, I think that's our best bet. Although, actually, okay, is that the best bet? Yeah, we're going to do it. The other option would be to wait and try to kill the Ajani, but I think just getting rid of the Bombardment makes the most sense. So Bombardment down. Opponent has 1 card in hand. We don't know what it was, but they're going to get some energy. They're going to gain some life. Well, this last card is huge. It shouldn't be anything good, though, right? They would have played the Ajani last turn. They had 2 cards, they played nothing. So that last card should be a dead card. It should be a land. It should be. We don't know that for sure, but it should be a land in hand. Or like Meltdown you wouldn't cast last turn, I guess. Something like that. Opponent combat. Getting in with the Magus of the Moon. Down to 11. We draw another March. Well, we will see what our opponent does. Ooh, all right. Well, 1-2. Stoneforge. We don't got a hammer, but we do got an axe. We would like to axe you for 14. Game. Oh, we beat the energy deck. We did it. Oh, it looks so bad. It looks so bad. We were mana screwed for 2 turns. They drew 3 guide. I don't know how we won that game. I mean, well, I guess how we won that game is our opponent drew too many lands, but opponent blew up our Urza Saga turn 2 before it could make mana. So we didn't, and we missed land drops after that. Triple Guide of Souls, a Magus of the Moon to shut down our blue mana. And in the end, it's the power of Leyline Axe with Shadow Sphere on a Cauldron Complete, taking it down. And the kids are already in. We are 3-0. We are 3-0. Kids are already in. Let's see if we can give them a feast, though, with a couple more wins. Hammer time. We are going for the 4-0 at the moment. Ooh, this hand. Huh. Oh, if only we had a hammer. If only we... I don't even know if we keep this, honestly. So we have Sigarda's Aid. We have no way to get a hammer. We have an Esper Sentinel, which is okay. An Ornithopter that's not doing much. Yeah, and 3 lands. Yeah, I think we just ship it. It could get worse, but it could also get a lot better. I mean, this is, I think, better. We're going to keep. The question is, what do we put to the bottom? Probably Meticulous Archive, I guess. So turn 1, we can land Esper Sentinel. Yeah, can't turn that stuff. Yeah, let's put the Archive to the bottom, I think. All right, let's try it. Let's try this. So we're a free artifact away from really trying to pop off turn 1. Some sort of persist deck, maybe. Bloodstained passes. So we draw an Urza Saga. So if we Saga on turn 1, it takes up on turn 2. We play Inkmoth Nexus. Turn 3, oh, we don't have a way to equip. Yeah, I think we wait. I think we just play the plains, play an Esper Sentinel. Yeah, since we don't have a way to free equip, getting down the Urza Saga early doesn't really do much. Opponent. There's the Raccoon Theater. Still a little light on raccoons, but it's got to be a Faithless Looting Persist deck, I assume. Untapped. Could be Indomitable Creativity. I mean, I guess it could just be like Rakdos Midrange or something, but... Oh, it's Hollow One. Oh, cute. I love Hollow One. Oh, we draw Stoneforge. Opponent, gonna spin it to win it. Discards a Hollow One, thankfully. Do you have another Hollow One? Cycle Street Wraith. Okay, trying to piece it together once you discard the Hollow One. All right, that's good for us. That's good for us. Well, in that case, I think we... How much can we do this turn? So we play the Mox, that's 2 artifacts. We can play Shadow Sphere, that's 3 artifacts. Yeah, so let's play Mox. Urza Saga. Let's play Shadow Sphere. Turn on the Mox. That'll let us Stoneforge. And I think we just grab Cauldron Complete. Might as well. Grab the Cauldron Complete. Get in for 1. Hit ya. Hollow One. You never know. Sometimes you discard the Hollow One. Like, we just played Hollow One like not that long ago. And another Goblin Lore. We get to draw another card. Oh, that's the Sigarda's Aid. My God. Okay, that's very good news. Now I kind of wish we... Oh, there's a Vengevine. I kind of wish we had played the Inkmoth if I'd known we were going to draw the Sigarda's Aid. Scalding Tarn for our opponent. Cracks it. Mountain and Faithless Looting. So opponents just digging for Hollow Ones. They need to find... If they can find Hollow Ones or Basking Root Wallas and get back there... Or not Basking. What's the Root Wall that comes back from the graveyard? The red one. All right, opponent passes. But if they can find that, they can get back their Vengevine. They are kind of on a clock, though, now. We draw Paradise Mantle. So we take up the Urza Saga. Opponent's at 13. Wait, do we win? 1, 2, 10. That's 12. Are we actually just 1? Actually, wait. Okay. Oh, right. This works. So we play the land. We play the Sigarda's Aid. We 1, 2. Stoneforge. Put the Cauldron Complete into play. No equipping. Oh, I see. We need to target it and then say no. No equipping. So get the Cauldron Complete. And then we will just go to combat, do some attacking, and flash in the hammer and make it die. And opponent scoops it up. And it just keeps working. It just keeps working. It's back. It's back. It's back. Oh, man, I miss Hammer Time. I just miss Modern. I know I've said this several times since the last Mannings, but I've just missed this format. And yeah, it's been a few weeks now. Sometimes we gotta play Energy, which is a bummer, but oh man, it's back. It's back. My Magic's best format is finally back for now. We'll see. Give it another month. We'll see. Obviously, no promises about the future, but for now, it's just been so fun to revisit all these decks that I love that kind of died because of power creep and because of bannings. They're decks that just did like Hollow One, Hammer Time. These are decks that used to be really cool, some of my favorite decks, and we just couldn't land our control. We just couldn't play them because they didn't work anymore. So it's been really fun to be able to explore those decks. And yeah, maybe they're not all like tip-top tier 1, best decks in the format, but they're way better than they were before and at least functional now. So what do we actually, okay, story time aside, what do we want against? It looks a lot like the build of Hollow One that we played. So Grafdigger's Cage can shut down Vengevines. Soul Guide Lantern can shut down Vengevines. There's probably a world where Orm's Chant does funny things, but I don't know if it's actually worth it. Sanctifier doesn't hate on the right stuff. Flare, we could bring in just to deal with, yeah, maybe we just bring in a little Graveyard 8. Maybe that's as good as it gets. We could bring in Flare for like Meltdown. I don't know if that's necessary or not. Can we hedge with one? Maybe we hedge with one and go down like one Leyline Axe. On game 2, opponents on the play. I mean, the thing about Hollow One is, yeah, this hand is pretty bad. Stoneforge Tron, but we can't even really cast it. Yeah, we got a mulligan. Thing about Hollow One is they could just beat us at any time out of nowhere. Oh man, this hand's so close to being great. The problem with this hand is we need another land. So turn 1, land, Mox, Hammer. Turn 2, Hammer turns on Mox, but without a land, it doesn't do anything. But we're already, yeah, I think we try it. I think we tried at 5 or at 6 rather than go to 5. Ew, plus we're up against Hollow One, so who knows? They might be spinning to winning with Burning Inquiry, and who knows what our hand will look like on turn 1. Part of the joy of playing against Hollow One. Opponent, Blood Crypt, untapped. Faith, oh boy, Faithless Looting. All right. I expect there's going to be some Hollow Ones coming down. I'm expecting me some Hollow Ones. Oh no, that's a Vengevine. Okay, no Hollow One? All right, that's good. Opponent spent their Street Wraith and their Faithless Looting and got kind of nothing out of it. We draw more Stone Forges. Well, Flooded Strand. Crack the Flooded Strand. Grab 8 Plains. Yeah, I mean, play a Colossus Hammer. Play a Mox. Pass the turn. Pray for a land off the top, perhaps. Opponent Bloodstained Mire. Okay, spin it to win it, Burning Inquiry. Wow. Oh, we discarded 2 lands. Oh, no, not like this. Oh, that's real bad. Okay, yeah. And opponent cycles the Street Wraith. Do they have a creature to get back the Vengevine? Oh, there it is. Hollow One Vengevine. Oh, boy. Oh, well, that is part of the upside of Burning Inquiry is you can really screw over your opponent, and they got us pretty good. They got us pretty good with that one. And if we don't draw land, I think we're kind of dead. Detectives Phoenix on the Hollow One. I mean, we might draw land and still be dead. I think we are. Yeah, opponent hits us. That's 10. Ooh. We draw Windswept Teeth. So our game plan is what? Stoneforge Chump Block? Play the Esper Sentinel. Play the Windswept Teeth. Crack the Windswept Teeth. Grab a Plains. Play the Stoneforge Mystic. Grab a Shadow Sphere. And pass the turn. So our hope is we stay alive, we top deck exactly Sigarda's Aid, and we equip Shadow Sphere, Colossus Hammer, and Esper Sentinel, and maybe that just lets us race Faithless Looting. Are we paying the one opponent? No. The Grafdigger's Cage would have been good. Would have been very good a turn ago before all this happened. Opponent discards Goblin Lord, discards a land. This probably doesn't even work, does it? Because we have to, if they attack with everything, we have to double chump. Yeah, opponent saw the line. So now I think we're actually legitimately dead because we can block here. But our opponent can just pump through a wall and kill it. Oh, they choose not to. You got a Lightning Bolt? Scalding Tarn. Cracks it. I mean, currently we're still drawing live to Sigarda's Aid. Oh, maybe a Bowmaster? All right. Yeah. Sure. All right. Well, our opponent had a much better draw that game. That's for sure. Yeah, let's run it back. Let's run it back. The good news is Esper Sentinel is going to be drawing his cards almost for sure. The bad news is doesn't really, we have a meticulous archive, and this doesn't really stop our opponent or kill our opponent quickly. I feel like this hand's just too fair. All right, well, I mean, this will keep. We will put Kappa Cannoneer to the bottom. I think the way we're probably going to try to win is Hammer on Ink Moth. We could put the land to the bottom. All right, let's think about this. So turn 1, Plains Esper Sentinel. Turn 2, Sigarda's Aid, Meticulous Archive. I guess we could put Shadow Sphere. How much do we care about? Kappa Cannoneer is a big-bodied blocker, which could matter in this matchup. Yeah, we're gonna put Kappa Cannoneer to the bottom, I think. No, we're gonna put Archive to the bottom. Archive to the bottom. We'll find our land. All right, so play the Plains, play the Esper Sentinel. Go. This also lets us Sigarda's Aid just equip the Shadow Sphere, which isn't game winning or anything, but it does curl the Esper Sentinel a bit. Opponent Psycho Street Wraith. Well, we gotta hope they don't have this, just the most insane draw. If they have the most insane Hollow One draws, they're gonna beat us probably every time. The good news is our most insane draws probably beat them every time. We draw the land, but Burning Inquiry, who knows what's gonna happen. We lose Kappa Cannoneer, we lose a Sigarda's Aid. Opponent discards a lot of action. We found a Grafdigger's Cage, though, which is actually kind of relevant. When there's a hammer, we can't equip it yet, but all right, Flooded Strand, crack Flooded Strand. Hollowed. Do we even care about Hollowed Fountain? We got 3 blue cards. Is it even worth shocking ourselves? It might not be. Let's grab a Plains. Let's play a Grafdigger's Cage. Let's play a Shadow Sphere. And pass, get in for 1, pass the turn. Well, now at least our opponent can't get back Vengevines. They can't Detective's Phoenix from the graveyard. So that does slow our opponent down a bit at least. Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters, I'm glad they spent that Burning Inquiry. We draw more Plains. Well, 1, 2, play the Stoneforge. Snag us a Cauldron Complete. And play a Plains, and yeah, I guess we play the Boots. Pass the turn. All right, live Stoneforge, live. No Burning Inquiry, that would be the scariest. There's 2 in the graveyard though, so 2 already down. The problem with Burning Inquiry is it just triggers both. Seriously? All right, opponent had the 3rd Burning Inquiry. And, well, we are probably in serious trouble now. So opponent discards a bunch of stuff. Yeah, well, man, we're going to lose our chance for a 5-0 to Hollow One high rolls. Oh my. Wow. Actually, this is hilarious. We're still okay after all that. That was horrible for us, but also actually hilariously great for us. Yeah, Hollow One. And Stomping Grounds tapped. Wow, I think we're still okay, opponent. Because we drew into Pure Steel Colossus Hammer, somehow at the end of all this, we ended up with a hand that does things. So we get to play a Pure Steel Paladin. We get to play the Urza Saga. We get to play a Colossus Hammer, which is going to draw us a card and trigger the Bowmaster, which is fine. Actually, do we say no? 12, 13, 14. Yeah, I think we actually say no. And then we're just going to equip for free, equip for free, equip for free. You go to combat, hit you for 14. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I mean, hit you for 14. We know there's no more Burning Inquiries. That much is for sure. Opponent takes a chunk down to 5. We go to 21. Pass the turn. Are we going to somehow win through that Burning Inquiry turd? Oh my goodness. That was a nightmare. But that is the horrors and the joys of playing Hollow One. Our opponent had the dream, but they ended up spinning us into something that just happened. The 2 perfect cards, like literally the only 2 cards that would keep us in the game. So after all the random drawing and discarding, we somehow ended up with just the 2 cards that actually give us a shot at winning. I mean, they could still have interaction, like a Meltdown, and then, but they haven't cast it. I feel like if they had a Meltdown, you just confidently slam that Meltdown and win the game. Pure Steel, Hammers, Boots, Spears, no Axe, everything but the Axe. About it. Ancient Grudge's a Grafdigger's Cage. Okay. 1 card in hand. Ancient Grudge's Colossus Hammer. Okay. Still 1 card in hand. The problem our opponent's going to run into if they're going on the Phoenix plan, which I think they are, is we still have the Urza Saga. Yeah, Phoenix on the Bowmaster gets in. Gonna leave back the 7/7, so we'll take 3 for now. All right, let's see what we draw. Hammer? How about a hammer? Flooded Strand, definitely not a hammer. We will play the Flooded Strand, create a Construct, move the Shadow Sphere over to the Construct, and pass the turn. Well, I mean, this is pretty much the game. When this Urza Saga goes off, we get to get another hammer, and unless our opponent has more interaction, then they will really die. They have 1 card. They do have Faithless Lootings. I don't think they can kill us this turn, though. Opponent, Faithless Looting? All right, there's a Faithless Looting. Looking for more graveyard heat, I suppose. I guess if they find 2 creatures and get back a Vengevine, but we don't die to a Vengevine. All right, they find a Ruwala. Wow, they found another Ancient Grudge. Oh, God. But do they have a... They might not... Oh, they probably have 1 more green source. Wow, our opponent might actually find the pieces here. Bloodstained Mire cracks it. Stomping Grounds, untapped, down to 2. And now they can Ancient Grudge the Shadow Sphere? Wow, I can't believe they hit another Ancient Grudge. Opponent's going to hit the Shadow Sphere. Yup. If they can also get back the Vengevine with like a hollow one or something, oh God, then we might be in serious trouble. If it's just another Phoenix, the problem is we don't have Trample, so they can chump block, but we have 2 lethal threats. So they need 2 blockers. All right, Detective's Phoenix on the Rootwalla. Well, let's see how our opponent decides to attack. We also get to Surveil. Opponent, gonna get in with the 7/7. We will take it down to... This ended up being a very close game. Down to 11. Well, let's crack the Flooded Strand down to 10. Get the Surveil land. See what we got on top. Another Pure Steel. I don't think we really want another Pure Steel. So that's gonna go to the graveyard. Untap. Oh wait, this works, because we can make a hasty boy. Oh, we actually just win. All right, that's actually fine. Yes, we'll draw for our turn. Soul Guide Lantern, not bad. Well, 1/2, we will make a Construct. And then tutor up I guess a Colossus Hammer. Yeah, tutor up the Colossus Hammer. Not draw a card, because we're about to win. We will, let's see, free equip over to the Construct. Free equip the Colossus Hammer to the Pure Steel. Play a Soul Guide Lantern. And opponent scoops it up, and 4-0 with Hammer Time. That was a crazy game. That was... It's those games that make Magic so amazing, right? Like, that was a game where with our opponent's draw and that Orcish Bowmaster into... I mean, I guess they only had 2 with the Bowmaster out, but all 4 of the Burning Increase on the top of their deck. That was a very quick, like, mow down your board, build this massive Orc army where it was looking bad. Like, our chances of winning that were so low, but somehow the randomness left us with exactly what we needed to stay alive. And eventually, even with our opponent finding the Ancient Grudges and the answers, we got the job done. And one more for the 5-0. One more for the 5-0. We're going for the 5-0 with the fastest build of Hammer Time, Mox Opal, and most importantly, Leyline Axe. Honestly, I mean, we could not have done this without, our parents and God, and I'd like to thank all my friends, and most importantly, Leyline Axe, because as we mulligan, whoa. Speaking of Leyline Axe, yeah, we have Tron. Tron is assembled. I feel like we have to put the Sigarda's Aid to the bottom, and that's awkward because things could go wrong, but we're just going to put all these Leyline Axes into play, and then we're going to play a Pure Steel and put all the Leyline Axes on the Pure Steel and hope that that's enough. Well, okay, yes, we'll start with one of you and also another one of you, and how about Tron and... Your go, opponent. The greatest turn 1 in the history of Modern. Turn 0, actually. Opponent, Horizon Canopy. And, oh god, they're bogglesing. Oh my god. Oh my literal god. Okay. Well, you know what deck we did not come prepared for? Boggles. I don't think we have a single card in our deck that's good against Boggles. Well, we're going to play this Esper Sentinel and pass the turn and see how bad this goes. Opponent, draw some cards, friend. We put a lot of Leyline Axes into play. Draw some cards with this Esper Sentinel. Opponent, Hyena Umbra. We get 2, draw a card. Thank you. That's a Mox Opal. Opponent, gonna get in for 2. Well, opponent, do I have news for you? We will play a Mox Opal. And then we will 1 and 2 play this this here Pure Steel Paladin. And then I think we put you on here. And then I think we put you on here. And then I think we also put you on here. And go to combat, hit you for 8. It really is Axe time. And then we're going to move 1 over to this Pure Steel for blocking purposes. Like, this is still enough that any non-creature we're going to draw. So, opponent, do you have removal? Do you have a second land for Sheltered by Ghosts? No. That is one of my favorite games. That is one of my favorite games of Modern we have played in a long time. What a hilarious game. And it worked. 3 Leyline Axes, Pure Steel Paladin, go. Bad news is, I feel like this is actually very close to, I mean, I guess I don't want to say it's an unwinnable matchup, but what this is like 2 ships passing in the night, right? This matchup is, can we kill our opponent before they kill us? Can we build the big thing that kills our opponent before they kill us with their big thing? As a result, most of our sideboard cards don't do anything. The only one that arguably does something is March, and March can't even kill their creatures. But it can get rid, I'm worried about Sheltered by Ghosts. Like, that's their removal spell, I assume. This can also get rid of, like, a Core Spirit Dancer. We're probably going to bring them in. We don't want to reduce the speed of our kill, though, because, honestly, we just need to build a bigger thing faster than they do. Like, I think that is essentially what this is going to come down to. Can we build the big thing faster than our opponent builds the big thing? We'll go on the Paradise Mantle. We'll go on the Kappa Cannoneer. And now I feel like I should never cut the Cauldron Complete, because every time we cut the Cauldron Complete, our opening hand's like, man, this would be a great Cauldron Complete hand. And then when we keep it, we're like, oh, this hand doesn't do anything with Cauldron Complete. But I feel like we can't cut it. Esper Sentinel's good. Also, keep in mind, because we're a Mox Opal deck now, we do need to keep this critical mass of cheap artifacts. So we can't really be cutting Ornithopters, or else our Mox stops working. Maybe, is it just 2? It's either 1 Axe, but I don't really want to cut the Axe, because the Axe has been so good. Yeah, we'll go on 1 more Kappa. Kappa Cannoneer has not done much. It has not done much, and I don't think it's going to do much in this matchup, although I could see an argument that unblockability could matter. Well, okay. I mean, we're going to keep this. This hand can build a big thing pretty fast. Is it fast enough? I don't know. We're going to find out. Opponent's going to 5, trying to find that hexproof creature. But we have Leyline Axe into Sigarda's Aid, into Stoneforge. And if we draw another white source, we also get a Pure Seal. Wooded Foothills, opponent cracks it. So if you play Boggles, you just got to mulligan until you find your Boggle. And our opponent mulliganed until they found a Glade Cover Scout. Well, let's see what we draw. Oh, that is a hammer. Well, we will play a land. We will play the Sigarda's Aid. We will play an Ornithopter. And pass the turn. Drawing the hammer is good. That is good. This instant replay, Ethereal Armor. Okay, gonna grow the Scout, and gets and hits us. Sure, down to 18. Another hammer, March. I'll play the land. It's an Urza Saga. Colossal Hammer on the Ornithopter, and hit you for 10. The other thing is, if our opponent has to chump block, that absolutely ruins their day. If they just have to chump block with their only hexproof creature, the game is over. Is this a 5-0? Is this a 5-0? Is it happening? An opponent scoops it up, and hammer time's back. That's the 5-0. The kids are going to be feasting tonight. That's 11 treasure chests to open. And that was a pretty nice, clean, and hilarious 5-0. What a great league. Man, I am so happy that Modern's back. Oh, it makes me so happy. I know I'd be saying this all the time, but I don't even think y'all realize how happy it actually makes me to have Modern be an actual format again. And it is lovely. Well, let's open 11 treasure chests, because we just got a 5-0. We'll open let's just open all of these. I don't think you don't get anything of value out of these, but sometimes you get like cool treatments. In Alpha, you can't refuge. Hero's Downfall, Vengeful Blood Witch. Oh, so it's all Foundations, lower rarity Foundations showcase cards. The big one, though, treasure chests. 11 of them for the 5-0. Let's crack them open. Treasure chest number 1, we get, 65 play points. That's actually pretty good. $6.50 play points. We will take it. Nothing card-wise, though. Number 2, Tender Wild Guide. I do like this treatment. Hey, it's my tiger, almost. I don't even know how to say that. Set tiger. I don't know. Just invert those last 2 letters, and it's super easy for me. But yes, my tiger has come. 9 to go. We get a Illustrious Wanderglyph. LCC Commander. 5 mana 2/2. Oh, this is the thing Phil plays in Commander and makes all the gnomes with. In a Ooh, is Pyrograph worth it? Pyrograph might be worth something. It might, because it only came in Commander precons. And I feel like it has seen some fringe legacy play. Oh, wow. Okay, wait, it's extended though. Wait, how much is the extended one? Modernizer 3 Commander foil. No, is this just foil? Extended. Is this 23 ticks? Is this actually a 23 tick? Is this a 23 tick card? It is. Oh, what a hit. What a hit. Wait, but it's foil. Oh no, extended foil, 11 cents. Okay. Just kidding. Just kidding. Well, at least we got the Toby avatar. I was excited for a minute, but yeah, that's actually not worth anything. Knight of the Reliquary. I wonder if that makes a comeback with Green Sun Zenith. Transmogrify, Minas Tirith Garrison. So far, these chests have not given us anything great value-wise. Oh my goodness, this might be a banger. A Johnny, Nikadal Pariah on Magic Online, 9.3 ticks, almost 10 ticks, and then Psychic Frog. Psychic Frog is 5 ticks. Okay, that is easily the best chest we've opened. Almost 15 bucks of goodies. 6 more to go. I feel like we've been opening treasure chests forever. The beauty of 5-0ing, you get to open so many treasure chests. Conduit of Words. Flowstone Slide. Can you play this in Commander? Is there any way? It's just so much mana. I feel like this needs to be like one in. I'm surprised they haven't come back to this, or I guess maybe red just doesn't give negative X anymore, but I feel like this would be a cool design if it just wasn't so incredibly expensive to get going. But the combination of like, you can use it like a removal spell to kill your opponent's stuff, or if you get it right, you can use it as a pump spell on your stuff. It's a cool idea of a card design, but just, you got to pay 5 mana to give all things +1, -1. 6 mana for +2, -2 is just way too expensive to go. It needs to be like double red and X. Like, get rid of the 2 generic or something. And then it would actually be a cool card. Shivan Dragon, the coolest of cards, but not a very good card in 2024. Well, 2025 actually. My God, how long am I going to do that for? Dragonborn Champion, another of the MH3 Commander cards, I believe. 3 to go. Seducius, Staff of Hermes. When did this come? Oh, this is Assassin's Creed. I have not seen that card played anywhere. Fortune, Perilous Vault. Well, last 2 shots. Come on, give us a Mox. Give us a Mox. I do love Greater Gargadon. Did anything with the bannings bring back Restore Balance? That's the real question. A bunch more play points. Well, last chest. Last shot for something big. All right, Seismic Assault. Hit our swans, draw some cards. Well, I gotta say, treasure chest, kind of medium, although that one chest with a Johnny and Psychic Frog was pretty good. The most important thing is, the deck kind of killed it. We went 5-0, taking down a lot of the current best decks in Modern, taking down Energy, taking down Persist decks, Faithless Looting decks, and I love this deck. I love Hammer Time, and I love this build of Hammer Time. But the thing that caught me by surprise, so my selling point for this deck, my idea for playing it was, well, we got Mox Opal back, right? We got Mox Opal. Mox Opal speeds up Hammer Time. We've never gotten to play Hammer Time with Mox Opal. How much better is Hammer Time when you essentially can be a turn faster, theoretically, thanks to Mox Opal? And Mox Opal, admittedly, was very good in the deck. Like, it does speed up the deck. It's just a really powerful Magic card. But honestly, what stole the show was not Mox Opal. It was Leyline Axe, and I think Leyline Axe, honestly, is the real reason that Hammer Time just might be back. Like, this was the card that made it happen. We saw wins just because of Leyline Axe. We saw wins with Hammer plus Leyline Axe. It was good when we were behind. It was good with, it was so incredibly good. And I gotta say, I think I whiffed on this card. Like, during spoiler season, I was confused because it's such a weird, unique card, but it's kind of like, I don't know, like, if you gotta hard cast it, it's so expensive. Is it really going to be good enough? And it turns out that it is definitely good enough, and doubly so in a Mox Opal deck. And I think that's probably the real takeaway is these two cards work really well together. The free artifact to turn on Mox Opal speeds up the deck, and then the mana from Mox Opal lets us equip the Leyline Axe and start beating our opponent down with this super fast Ember Cleave. So those two cards together, I think essentially are what has brought the deck back and gives it a chance to be good again. The new card I was not very impressed with is Kappa Cannoneer. I don't know. I sideboarded out a lot. I don't think it's bad or anything, but I definitely feel like Kappa Cannoneer is kind of flex slotty for me, where if there's something else you want to play, I think cutting the Cannoneer, like, did it do anything in any of our games? I'm pretty sure we just sideboarded it out. I think we cast it maybe once, but it didn't really do anything in our games other than get insided out. And we went for the 5-0, so it doesn't feel very necessary to me. So I think you could replace this. I'm not sure what I'd replace it with. Like, do we want some interaction, more interaction in the main deck? Right now we have 2 Spell Pierces. It's very much it's a combo deck, right? We're trying to do our thing and put you to dead before you do your thing and put us to dead, or manage to stabilize our board. So we're not playing any removal in the main deck, but we could sneak a March or a Path, some sort of removal spell into the main deck. Maybe, but let me know what you think about Kappa Cannoneer, because that's the card I most like. I don't know if you really need it, but the rest of the deck, if I was going to run back this league, I would actually just run it back as is. I feel like the rest of the deck felt really solid, and we got to see the power of not only Colossus Hammer, but Leyline Axe, thanks to Mox Opal. But anyway, everyone, that is Hammer time. That's been our 5-0, our first 5-0, I believe, since the banning. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.